right, everyone, welcome to our 50th episode of Brew Talk with Mr.Beer. My name is Robert. I'm your host for today. As you can see, it's our 50th episode, so we made it a very special occasion. I wore my finest outfit. We got the finest intro music, and I'm drinking the finest hard seltzer that money can buy, because it's the closest thing that I had to champagne, unfortunately. So, I'm going to put this down here. Apologize, I'm not filming in our offices. We're still closed, so I'm filming from my house. There's some traffic driving by, so sorry about that. Apologies if you have a hard time hearing me, but hopefully we can make this work for you. I appreciate you guys taking the time to join us today. Hope you enjoy our 50th episode. We were going to do something big and fun, but obviously everyone's working remote, so I can't have everybody on the show like I normally would have. But I thought a good topic for today would be to dive into like our top 20 tips over our past 50 episodes, to kind of do a recap, a refresher for all of our fans, all of our new brewers that are getting out there. And sometimes it's a good, change of pace and a good just refresher for everybody. I think, you don't want to miss out on those tips. So I'm going to be referencing my notes a little bit. I apologize for not looking directly at the camera, but we will do the best we can do with what we got. So step number one, I think the most important step is to make sure that you're always sanitizing everything. We're going to sanitize everything that will come in contact with your beer, or that might come in contact with your beer. We cannot stress this enough. It is highly, highly important. Step two, follow your directions. Pretty straightforward, it's pretty simple. Follow directions on our website for whatever recipe or refill you're building. Everything can be found on MrBeer.com. It's very straightforward. Always reference our website for the most up-to-date versions of our instructions. Fun fact for people who don't know, in step number three, all of our Mr. Beer refills or HMEs are made. HME stands for hop malt extract. For those you don't know, those are little cans that you get. We have the standard size and the craft size, are made by Cooper's Brewery out of Australia. They are the largest family-owned brewery in Australia. They've been around for over 150 years, and they are known for producing the world's highest quality malt extract, and they are the biggest supplier of malt extract for home brewing. They do a really, really awesome job. If you want to learn more about that, check out a few episodes back. I interviewed Dr. Tim Cooper, who's a managing director and a fifth-generation Coopers on the show. Tip number four, you can brew with expired Mr. Beer ingredients, but just note that your beer will be darker and you will want to get new yeast. Tip number five, you can boil hops in booster, as booster mimics the wort profile. We did a whole episode on this about boiling hops in booster, if it works or doesn't work. It does work. It's a great way to get bitterness into your beer from a hop boil without adding any color. It works really well. Booster is something that's really, really cool. You can do a lot of cool things with. Step number six, one of our episodes is about adding Beano to your beer, and what that does. What Beano does is it dries out your beer. So we use this in like our day after day, Plato's Brute IPA to make a Brute style IPA, and we use it in all our low carb and low cal recipes because the Beano breaks down the complicated sugars, so the yeast can cut them more, ferments it basically down to nothing. So it gets rid of all that stuff that is in there. Step number seven, which is important as we're coming up to summer, was in the video of tips on how to keep your fermenter cool for summer. Basically, you can either have a dedicated room for brewing with a thermostat that you can control to keep it at that ideal range. You can use a chest cooler, like a big, igloo cooler, put frozen water bottles in it, you're good to go. Or you can get a mini fridge with a temperature controller, plug that in, maintain the temp. That's the easiest way to go. I mean, mini fridges are not that expensive from Walmart and stuff like that. That's probably the best way to go. At our office in the brew room, we have a set brew room with its own set thermostat, sets the temp in there, keeps it regular, 70 degrees all the time. Tip number eight, the best type of water to use for brewing your beer is any filtered water, RO water, or bottled water. In the office, we use RO water. You can use tap water if it tastes good to drink. If you drink your tap water, you're fine to brew with it. You didn't ruin your batch by brewing tap water. Sometimes, if tap water has a lot of chlorine in it, that can create off flavors in your beer. And the neat thing about brewing with hop malt extract is that you can use distilled water. Brewing from all grains, you can't, because the water needs certain minerals in there, but hop malt extract has all those minerals, so you can use distilled water when brewing with hop malt extract. Number 9, when you run out of sanitizer, what should you do? You can use bleach, just make sure you rinse it until the smell is gone. You can use OxyClean Free, which is about a capful in a gallon, and hydrogen peroxide as well to clean anything that may be coming in contact with. However, we always recommend using our no rinse cleanser. On your next order, just buy a few extra ones. Make sure you have a few lying around the house, because you never know when you're going to lose one, spill one, drop one, forget you're supposed to use half for the bottles. Who knows? Step number 10, bittering hops. So these are hops that you want to boil, obviously. You'll want to boil these either DME or after steeping specialty grains or in booster, like I mentioned earlier. When you want to get bitterness out of your hops, the longer you boil them, the more bitter they will be. There's a video we had Ashley on for a hop series. I'd recommend checking that out if you haven't watched that one. She is a hop expert. There's also tips in there about the volume of your boil and related to hops and a lot of interesting stuff, so that's definitely something I would check out. Before I continue on with our episode, I'm going to pause here for a moment and one, thank all of our avid fans, customers, and our loyal watchers of Brew Talk and our Mr. Beer brewers. Number two, I have a special coupon code for you guys to use. In our 50th episode, we are going to offer a 10% off coupon code. This can be used on MrBeer.com. The code is good until the end of April, so we are on April 8th, I think, 2020. So the code will expire at midnight, April 30th, 2020. The code is BrewTalk10, BREWTALK 10. That's BrewTalk10, all lowercase, no spaces, no dashes. Brew, BREW, Talk, TALK 10. Make sure that you are logged into your Mr. Beer account before you use the code. If you are not logged into your Mr. Beer account, the coupon code will not work. If you have questions about the code, email customer service. They will help you out. A little, payback or a little something for you guys for watching these episodes and putting up with some of our nonsense and shenanigans over the years. All right. Or over 50 episodes, not a year, almost a year. Number 11, when selecting your own yeast for building your own recipe, make sure to read the manufacturer's description of the style of yeast or the style of beer that yeast is good for. The manufacturer always recommend what beers to brew that with, so when you're building your own recipe, go on Mad Scientist, look at the pick your yeast, pick a few options, and then read what they think they would brew best with, and you'll be good to go. USO5 is always just a staple to go to, same with SO4. When you're bottling your beer, you can use a lot of different adjuncts, from dextrose, honey, maple syrup, vanilla extract, coffee, whiskey, or flavor syrup. There's all kinds of different things you can do. We did a whole episode about bottling with adjuncts. It's a great way to add different flavors to your beers and add some unique things for sure. Number 13, we did an episode about specialty grains a while back. Specialty grains are in a lot of our partial mash recipes. They're steeping grains that you steep in the water before you start adding anything else. They are a great way to add color, body, and mouthfeel to your beer, and they're also good for hop boils. It's a good way to brew something good and add a little more flavor and a little more process to your brewing experience. Back on the hops. Dual purpose hops are good for aroma and bitterness. There's a lot of hops that can be used dual purposely. You can dry hop with them, or you can add them for boils. Hops is a very complicated subject. We did a whole episode on this one. They add great unique characteristics to your beer. A lot of dual purpose hops you see in like New England IPAs and stuff like that. They're just very, very good hops all around. We like those ones a lot. Dry hopping. If you want to dry hop your beer, make sure you're using an aroma hop, and the aroma is the flavor that you're looking for. If you've tried a few beers at your local brewery and they use Nelson hops, or they're dry hopping with Yukon or something like that that has a good aroma to it, then you want to make sure that you use those hops to dry hop with, and you add those late in fermentation. A whole video about how to dry hop with them. Also, a tip that I'm going to plug in here, bonus tip. Anytime you're brewing with hops, and we usually have you keep them in unless we tell you to take them out, so your hops will always stay in, the fermenters stay in throughout the entire process of fermentation. All right, so that's dry hopping. Number 16, if you have off flavors, you let your beer age for a little longer. A lot of times age can clean things up. Just don't toss it right away. Let it sit for another few weeks at room temperature, around 70, 72 degrees. Usually, majority of the time, that will help clean off those flavors for you, and you will be good to go. 17, cold crashing. A lot of people talk about it, a lot of people do it. It's a great way to clarify your beer. It's a great way to have that sediment, that shrub settle to the bottom and not get in your bottles. 24 to 40 hours before you're going to bottle your beer, put it in your refrigerator, let it chill. You'll get some crystal clear beer. Number 18, how to keep your fermenter warm in winter. Some of you guys still have some cold weather. Obviously, we don't have that down here in Tucson right now, but you can use a heating pad. You can wrap your fermenter in a blanket or put it somewhere, again, that has its own thermostat that you can't control, but you want to make sure you're maintaining proper temperatures. Number 19 is about a hydrometer. We have an episode about how to use it, what it does. It's a great tool. Helps you measure your ABV and let you know when your beers are done. It gives you great accurate readings about what's going on in your brewing process. And number 20, I think, is the most important. Always have fun when you're brewing, and make sure to drink a beer while you're brewing. I think that is required by international law, that you must drink a beer while you are brewing beer. So that's going to wrap up our 50th episode. We appreciate you guys taking the time to watch us. If you have any questions about the coupon code we provided earlier, email customer service. We post these on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and on our blog, mrbeer.com/blog. I will post the notes in there as well. I hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you're brewing some beer and drinking some beer and spending time with your family. Again, we appreciate all support over these last 50 episodes, and we look forward to the next 50 to come. Cheers. Hope you guys have a great week.